just introduce you here to kind of a mini project, I guess, if you will. A friend of mine at work had no need of these, so he gave them to me. It's a couple of old Craftsman 12-inch chainsaws. This one is more for parts and has a 16-inch bar on it, I think. So it's also got a built-in sharpening apparatus. Weird. Anyway, I don't think we're going to be making use of that. But he couldn't get this one going, so I tried, and it was really flooded. Like, couldn't even pull it over. So I took the plug out, kind of drained it out, put the plug back in, got it to run just for a moment, and then it died out. It won't throttle up, so it's still got an issue. Now it doesn't really want to start again, so I'm gonna have to tear into it and see what's going on. I'm not 100% sure, but when I took this cover off, I had the choke in the off position, but this was in the on position. And so it could be that it just wasn't opening the choke. That might be all it is. Where did I put that filter? That was in here, I guess. So it could just have been assembled wrong at some point. Somebody was playing with it and assembled it wrong, and then couldn't figure out what they did wrong. Choke is now on. Oh, might be pretty smoky. With as much fuel as in it. Ooh. I'm not going to do much more with it right now, but I think we fixed it. Welcome back. You can see that I've cleaned up the valve cover surface here and the valve cover itself. Got the new gasket. I don't know why it didn't have a gasket, but this is right out of the parts manual that came with the engine, so it's going to have a gasket when we're done. So we're going to take a look at adjusting these valve clearances. Fact of the matter is, we might not do anything if they're okay, but if you do have to adjust them, there's a T15 Torx set screw in there, and from what I read, it's quite tight, so you're going to loosen that off, and that's going to allow you to adjust the adjuster nuts here, which use a 10mm socket. So before we do any of that, we're going to actually check and see where we're at. So again, you want to make sure you're on top dead center on your compression stroke, and you're going to know that you're on the compression stroke because both valves are closed. Right there, see we're rocking there? So right there we're switching from exhaust to intake, and we're pretty near top dead center right there. And so that's when we're going to be switching over. So the exhaust valve is just closing, so it's exhausted, and the intake's just opening to allow our charge in. So we're going to go one more time. Right around here, when both valves right about there, and both valves are loose, so we can set our lash. So on the exhaust side, we're looking for 7 thou, and we want to feel a slight drag here, and I'd say it's a bit loosey-goosey. That needs a bit of tightening up. And on intake side, it's 5 thou. Come on now. These Mac, they're pretty nice feeler gauges. That's a bit on the loose side too. So we're gonna have to do it. Let's see how tight these are. Really, that's it? Okay, they're not that tight at all. Well, they sure made a big deal of that online. Okay, now we're going to tighten up these adjuster nuts. Probably going to do this just by hand because it's such a fine thing. And you're just going to tighten it up until you get just a slight drag on there. Feels like probably right there. And looser, and yeah, I'm going to put it right there. And in fact, I'm going to use a wrench for this. The torque on these is just 50 inch-pounds, so by holding it with a wrench and not moving it, I can torque this up. I maybe done this by hand first. There we are. That's it. And just prevent the nut from turning. And once we're done, recheck. That feels really nice and not so sloppy like it was before. So that is really good. I'm going to do the other side at 5 thou. Get in there. You have to back that set screw up a little bit. Still, can I do it through there? There we go. Okay. There, just a little bit of drag on that. I'm going to repeat that. This time I'm going to tighten it by hand first, just a little bit. There we go. There we go. Okay. We check our clearance. It can change as you torque things up. That feels really nice. That's it. Job done. Cub Cadet says you should take it to the dealer for this, but I don't think we've done anything overly difficult so far. Well, that's the end of the big scary bad valve adjustment that's only supposed to be done at the dealership. So most of our 200-hour service is now complete. Just a little bit of greasing, check tire pressures, that kind of thing, maybe clean up the deck. Waiting for that pulley and the belt to come in. Those should be here in maybe even tomorrow or the day after. And well, drive belt replacement is supposed to be dealership only too, but I'm the dealership now. So we should be back in business pretty soon, and then we can tackle, you know, some of all this other stuff that needs to get tackled. Yay!